Exactly. Oh, look at that. Right on time. Why not be an A student? Be an A student. No, you do what you want. Can I just, I know. This is better. This is better. We got this. All right. Thank you all. You've all made the brilliant choice of coming to the division director session for the Tribal Intergovernmental and Policy Division. 60% of the people in the room work for me, and I think that's perfect. You all made a great choice. Performance reviews are coming up. Exactly, JR. Perfect. I am so glad to talk with you for folks who don't have to listen to me talk every day. The Tribal Intergovernmental and Policy Division is the youngest division at EPA Region 9. Our division is one of the most dynamic divisions. We provide support on a number of important statutory programs, and we are the center of all of the best parts of EPA. We are the center of all of the ways that EPA engages directly with communities and advocates to government about sensible decision-making that improves the lives of people within our region. And our region is amazing. So we have a little PowerPoint. We're going to talk at you for a little bit. I have members of our leadership team here to talk with you about the work that they provide ownership over. And then we can answer any questions. There's a lot of friends in the room, but we're glad to answer any questions that you might have or just spend some time in fellowship with you. Next slide, please. Ooh, the TIPD mission statement. Okay, so we have a mission statement that we developed when we became a division. We wanted to make sure that all of our dynamic programs were represented in our mission statement. And our division includes work with federally recognized tribes, work in communities with environmental justice concerns, work with the Pacific Islands and the freely associated states in Micronesia, work along the US-Mexico border in the United States and in Mexico, as well as discharge of our responsibilities under the Clean Air Act Section 309, that is to conduct environmental review, right? Assessment of NEPA documents that other federal agencies have prepared. So we've got a big basket of stuff. Our mission statement is fantastic. The Tribal Intergovernmental and Policy Division advances environmental justice and improves the quality of human health and the environment for Region 9 communities and areas that are impacted by federal actions. Everything that we do fits under this mission statement. We're so proud of the way that our team came up with this, and this is something that we talk about frequently. We want to make sure that we remind ourselves that there's a great purpose to the work that we do. It's not just a job, it is a career. Next slide, please. Division updates. Oh gosh, okay, I was supposed to make some updates. I know what they are. So our division is changing a little bit. We are entering into a new fiscal year. It's a brand new fiscal year. The smell of fresh pencils is still in the air. And with the coming of this new fiscal year, Region 9 is taking on a couple of leadership responsibilities for the entire agency. So one of the things that we are doing is we're taking on the role of what's called lead region for the Office of International and Tribal Affairs. This means that we're responsible to collect perspectives from all of the regions relative to the portfolio of international and tribal affairs, communicate that up to the national program, and help the national program interface with regions. Within the Office of International and Tribal Affairs, most important to my heart is the American Indian Environmental Office. Director Kenneth Martin is here with us, and I'm so glad to see him. We're really excited to advancing regional interests as part of this national platform, but also representing the perspectives and concerns of regions, tribal programs across the country. Within the Office of International and Tribal Affairs is also our international work, which for Region 9 includes work along the US-Mexico border in partnership with Region 6. It also includes work on the United States-Canada border for regions in the northern part of the country, and then truly international work that the agency does in partnership with other governments. That was it. Okay, Ruben says I get a good grade. Next slide, please. This is our organizational chart. We have what's called the immediate office. This is where I sit, as well as Deputy Director Jeremy Bauer. Jeremy is a fantastic longtime member of our division who is serving in this role. Folks who have been around a while might remember Bridget Coyle. She looks like this, was our longtime Deputy Director. Jeremy is serving in her shoes and is doing a fantastic job. Jeremy and I are the immediate office. We have an environmental justice team, Pacific Islands office, Environmental Review Branch, that's where NEPA is, Tribal Branch, and the Mexico Border Branch. You will hear from all of these fine folks now. Next slide, please. Tribal Branch, Mr. Mojica Hernandez.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ruben Mojica Hernandez, and I am the Tribal Branch Manager for going on 3 years now. And so our team, it's just me as managing the team, but I have a team of 13 project officers, all very passionate about their job. So I feel very fortunate to have such a great team. So shout out to all of y'all, some of you are in the room. So our office, I kind of broke down, we do a lot, as a lot of you probably know, because we work with a lot of you every day. But I kind of broke it down into 3 segments. And so the first is the Indian Environmental General Assistance Program, also known as GAP. We've heard a lot about GAP. We hear about GAP at every art talk and conference. And so that's one of our main functions is administering the GAP grant. And so the GAP grant is meant to build the environmental capacity of each tribe in Region 9. And so we have a webinar coming up soon. So if you are interested in reapplying or applying for the first time for a GAP grant in Region 9, that'll be on November 16th. So I did send out to all our contacts in Region 9 some information about that webinar so you can learn about the next opportunity to apply for a GAP grant. So the other is tribal engagement. So as you know, our office is we are in charge of coordinating and organizing the Art Talk. And so Julianne Schroeder, if you want to raise your hand, is the Art Talk coordinator in the office. And she's also assisted by Abigail Gamet. And so these 2 fantastic individuals work with the Tribal Art Talk planning team. And so we coordinate 4 Art Talks every year. 2 typically tend to be in San Francisco at our Region 9 headquarters office, and 2 are in Indian country. So the next one will be January 30th through February 1st in San Francisco. So we look forward to seeing you then, and we're very happy to host again. Also, there's the conference. So this amazing 3 days that we have here in Viejas or Alpine is also put together by our office. Jeanette Sasak is the conference coordinator, who's been supported by her assistant, Sophia Yuso, who's also on the team. We also do tribal leaders roundtables. So those don't happen we aim to have 3 to 4, where it really depends on the need of our regional administrator for when she wants to meet with typically tribal elected leaders. Has been kind of how we've been setting them up. We had one yesterday, it went really well. And then also tribal consultation. We do work a lot with AIEO to ensure that, any updates on the consultation are being implemented in the region. And then also with the changes coming up, we've been working very closely. We have a couple of people on our team who also have been supporting that effort. And then we also have the newsletter. If you would like to hear more about all the amazing opportunities that we do, but not just us, but everyone at EPA in Region 9, funding opportunities, anything, please sign up for our newsletter. Mark Reyes has been our want to raise your hand? You're here. Has been doing an amazing job at putting together the newsletter, and soon Edam will now be taking over that role. So yeah, that's a really great opportunity to learn about all these things, and then updates about not just what we're doing, but all of Region 9 EPA. And then of course, Region 9, we provide support to Region 9 to the administrator's office, the regional administrator's office as needed. And of course, we work very closely with AIEO and to, any updates, any big changes, we work together on that. And that's our team. Thank you. Next slide.
Elena, if you're online, can you try to speak?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Can you turn her up? Hang on one second. We're going to try and enhance your volume.
Thank you. Testing.
Well, there's like a whole technology here. Fortunately, there's a person who looks like he knows what he's doing. He does. Me neither. It's very low. She just tried. Here, you could try to speak again, Elena.
Testing.
So quiet. Okay. Could we advance slides and trade places with someone who might be here? Who's here? Alhelí's here. So Elena, we're going to come back to Pacific Islands and we'll advance the slides to the U.S.-Mexico border program, Abigail. Thank you. So Alhelí will go first while we work on technology.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alhelí Baños-Keener. I am the acting manager. Thank you. I'm the acting manager for the Mexico border branch. Can you hear me okay? I feel like I'm too short. Is that good? Okay. So I'm the acting manager for the U.S.-Mexico border branch. We have a wonderful team. I see one person here today, Marisol Anaya, who is our California Baja regional coordinator and also our tribal liaison. We have Lorena Lopez Powers, who should be online. She's our Arizona Sonora regional coordinator and also the project officer for a lot of the Border 2025 grants that we award. We have Anthony Isham, who should also be online, our new environmental health and communications coordinator. And we have Maria Rangel, who is our office manager and our translator, and she provides a ton of support for a lot of us in the region with her skills. So in Region 9, our Mexico border branch works really closely with federal, state, tribal, and community representatives on both sides of the border to create and manage our U.S.-Mexico border environmental program, currently Border 2025. So that is most of the work that we do in our branch. There's been several different border environmental programs since the signing of the La Paz Agreement back in 1983. We've had Border 2020, Border 2012, and currently Border 2025. Border 2025 is a community-driven program. It aims to protect the environment and public health in the border region for long-term economic, cultural, and social well-being of the present and future generations. An important part of our program is the dialogue that we have with communities and partners, where we identify environmental needs and priorities along the border. And together we create a plan or a framework with goals and objectives to address those needs and priorities. We meet on a regular basis. We have binational task force meetings with members from the US and Mexico. We have regional coordination meetings where everybody gets together to talk about priorities and needs. And we also have policy work group meetings, which focus on identifying and addressing the priorities that are identified by communities along the border. We have 4 priority goals: improving air and water quality, materials and waste management, and emergency response coordination. So through these meetings that we have throughout the border, we have a direct line of communication with border communities, which is why we really appreciate participation from all of our partners. And a crucial partner in our border work is our tribal nations. There's 27 federally recognized tribes along the border region, 24 are in Region 9. We recently formed an RTOC border work group. Some of you may have been there yesterday for Marisol's great presentation, and Camilo Perez. And Marisol and Camilo lead the group. They coordinate different priorities with the tribes that participate. Wait, did I say Camilo Perez and Marisol are co-chairs? Okay, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, make sure I don't miss anything. Several priorities have come out of the work group. For example, a really important one is that our tribal partners have asked us to engage with Mexican indigenous communities. So we're working on that. We're really excited to work on that with our Mexican counterparts. And then our work is driven by our guiding principles: EJ, climate justice, resiliency, promoting environmental awareness, health, improving children's health, and strengthening communication and partnerships. So another key aspect of our program is our ability to award grants and to address, through these grants, address the needs expressed by our community partners through the task forces and border, and achieving the goals and objectives of the border framework document. So we fund projects through a cooperative agreement with the NADBank, which is the North American Development Bank, which is a binational institution, so we can award grants on both sides of the border. And we also work and partner with other offices at EPA. We work very closely with OIDA as well. We have members of the wider border team that work on border issues, like from the Water Division, Air Division, LCARD, and super fun, thank you. Yeah, and that in a nutshell is our Mexico border branch.
Thank you, Alhelí. So Abigail, we're going to go back to Pacific Islands because a person with power is here to help us with our audio.
Hi, testing.
So,
Testing.
Elena, keep talking. Just
Hi,
say
sure.
whatever for a second while the audio person. Oh, Ruben
Hi.
requests that you please sing.
Oh my
Karaoke.
goodness.
No, you're doing it. You're great. Can folks in the back hear my dear Elena? Oh, perfect. Elena, you are loud and clear. Go
Okay.
for Pacific Islands. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. My name is Elena Vaouli. I'm with our Pacific Islands office. And what I hope that you'll remember about our Pacific Islands team in the short time I have with you is that we are helpers. So we help the communities in the Pacific Islands, and we also help EPA support those communities by doing the mission of the agency, by doing the mission of the division, as Laura described earlier. So I'm going to talk about who we help and how we help. Here on the slide, you can see our team's sole and primary focus is dedicated to the U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands or the U.S. APIs, and that includes the U.S. territory of American Samoa, Guam, the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas Islands, as well as the sovereign freely associated states of Micronesia, Palau, Marshall Islands, and the Federated States of Micronesia. So how do we help? Well, one of the things that we do is just raise awareness about who the US APIs are, what their unique challenges are, and really to help it feel less remote, feel less forgotten, and certainly help it feel more familiar, especially to the people who do this work. And so we help to shrink, as you can see on the slide, the miles and miles of vast Pacific Ocean that separates our offices in California with the US APIs all the way out to the west and south of the equator. And we work over 7 different time zones, typically over 5,000 to 7,000 miles usually. And so we really help bridge that distance through constant engagement, through frequent site and technical assistance visits. So oftentimes traveling there 3 to 4 times a year, or perhaps more with other subject matter experts. And in the interim, we do lots of virtual and remote meetings and trainings and conversations. And that has really helped us build a strong and lasting relationship founded on collaboration and understanding. And it's because of that we can help connect people, right? And help connect appropriate and relevant resources together. So specifically how we help the US APIs is similar to the tribal branch, administer and manage grants. We also will provide and coordinate direct technical assistance and capacity building efforts, and of course liaise with partners. And that helps us to amplify voices, right? So amplifying the voices of the US APIs who we work with, but also help amplify our own EPA voice in terms of our processes and our requirements and even our opportunities. And then we for how we help EPA is to coordinate, again, people and resources, right? Do the matchmaking to ensure that all of the right people are connected to the right resources. But we also, in terms of our policy and guidance, want to ensure that we are inclusive of all of the people who this work touches. And then we also, to help build our own cultural competencies and awareness, will give and set up trainings to understand better how to work effectively with our US API community. And so just to sum it up, I'll just say that each of our program managers, we consider ourselves project officers, coordinators, educators, facilitators, advocates. In summary, we are helpers. And so I hope that I have helped you understand a little bit more about the work we do with the US APIs. Thank you.
Oh, I love it, Elena. Thank you so much. Abigail, next slide. Environmental Review Branch. Jean?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Okay. I feel bad having to follow Elena because that was so inspirational, but here we are. My name is Jean Prijatel. I'm the supervisor of the Environmental Review Branch here in the TIP division. I supervise a mighty team of 15 passionate people who are working to improve environmental outcomes from federal projects. So our office reviews environmental impact statements and other analysis documents that are prepared under the National Environmental Policy Act. NEPA is considered the Magna Carta of how the federal government considers public engagement, public health, and the environment in its decision making. EPA has a unique role in the NEPA process in that we are required to review and comment on these major federal actions that other agencies are undertaking. Federal actions might include providing funding for the development of a project, having to issue a permit for a project, or some kind of build scenario like a highway of their own. They also promulgate regulations and other things that we weigh in on when appropriate. About 25% of the workload of the country comes through our office, which is why we are organized in sector-based teams, as you can see on the right side of this slide. Having sector-based teams allows us to develop expertise and delve a little deeper in the kinds of impacts we typically see from certain types of projects and develop innovative strategies for reducing harm, improving environmental outcomes from those projects. So we are divided pretty well. We have a lot of each of types of these projects that come into our region. We also, in these sector-based teams, work on early coordination. So you can see in the image here of the NEPA process that there's a lot that goes on as an environmental impact statement or other document is developed. Our teams are able to engage early on in those processes to influence, how the purpose and need is defined so that it's not too narrow as to allow for a reasonable range of alternatives of ways to accomplish the goals of the project that are less damaging and have better outcomes. So we coordinate early as best as we can to influence those pieces of it and ensure that the analysis that gets released to the public is thorough and can support a federal decision. I want to point out too that NEPA is a procedural law, it's not a substantive law, and EPA does not have any approval authority over the NEPA process or anything that results as the federal decision that results from the NEPA process. So when we're doing our reviews and we're trying to help federal agencies with their compliance, we consider the statute itself, the NEPA statute itself, which was recently revised. The regulations, Council on Environmental Quality has implementing regulations for NEPA that are also currently undergoing revision. And we also think about executive orders and other policy statements that address things like climate change, environmental justice, and renewable energy priorities. So we're trying to tie all of the things together to help inform a thorough environmental review process. We also focus on helping shape national policy, sort of going the other direction and making sure that the policies that we have that govern our work and govern other federal agencies' work is informed by our experience and the expertise we've developed. So that's us in a very quick nutshell in the Environmental Review Branch.
Thank you so much, Jean. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And our environmental justice team, one of the newest programs at EPA, Morgan Capilla, is here to speak with us. Morgan, welcome back from your vacation. We're glad to have you with us.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Could you talk a little bit louder?
Okay, how's that going? Can you hear me?
That's better. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll have to try and project. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. As Laura mentioned, my name is Morgan Capilla, and I'm leading our environmental justice team at EPA Region 9. Our program is really dedicated to supporting communities that have been disproportionately impacted by environmental and health harms, and we are all truly passionate about this incredibly important work. At this time, with this increase in prioritization and support for environmental justice, our regional team has grown exponentially in just a short period of time. In this photo here, you can see some of our amazing team members that we've welcomed over the past year or so, and we've grown since then to about 12 full-time positions, and we continue to hire new folks. And as we grow, we're connecting our team members with focus areas so that they can really get to know the local and regional EJ issues in their areas and develop meaningful relationships with communities, which is so integral to our work as an EJ program. And as part of that, that includes our magnificent tribal liaison, Michael Cloyd, who many of you may have already met and heard a presentation from yesterday on EJ resources. So this slide just provides a high-level overview of some of the work that we do, which includes directly engaging with communities and providing EJ support to other EPA programs and external partners like government agencies. Since we have just a short period of time, I wanted to highlight a few key elements of our work for you. Our EJ Grants and Technical Assistance Program provides funding to communities and their partners to advance environmental and climate justice activities. This program has recently been infused with truly unprecedented levels of funding, which we are hoping will help us make some meaningful progress on long-standing environmental justice issues. That includes the new EJ Thriving Communities Technical Assistance Center program, of which EPA Region 9 received 2 selections that we were really excited about, to the San Diego State University and the University of Arizona, both of which we were very appreciative to have representation at this year's conference. It also includes the new EJ Thriving Communities Grantmaker program and new Community Change Grant program, which we expect to have more information available in the coming weeks. And just recently this week, our headquarters office announced $128 million to fund 186 projects supporting environmental justice across the country through our EJ Collaborative Problem Solving Cooperative Agreements and our EJ Government to Government Cooperative Agreements. And that includes projects that support tribes. Region 9 received 12 government to government selections and 16 collaborative problem solving selections, which we are very, very thrilled about. And our team is really looking forward to supporting project officer roles for those and other upcoming EJ grant awards, which is a key component of our work as a program. I also wanted to put a plug in for EPA Region 9's Environmental Justice Program monthly community check-in, which is held virtually, and it occurs the first Tuesday of every month from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. The next one that we have scheduled is coming up on November 7th, so make sure to mark your calendars if you're interested in attending. And the goal of this meeting is to provide a chance for community members to meet our EJ team, meet those working on EJ in our Region 9 program, ask questions, raise issues that they're facing, and network with other EJ and community leaders. And so some of the ways to keep in touch with us about the grants that I mentioned, the community check-in that I mentioned, and other opportunities that become available is to join our regional and national EJ listservs. And I'll share some information in just a moment in the chat so that you can subscribe if you're interested. It's just a brief snapshot of our program and a few key components of what we've been working on lately. So thank you so much for your time, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much, Morgan. Abigail, can you confirm we have reached the end of our Merry Cruise? Yes, excellent. Questions and discussion. Just in closing, before we open up the floor for questions, I want to recognize a couple of things. The first is that we don't believe that we have all the answers. We try very hard to make sure that we understand all of the resources and tools that EPA and other federal agencies have at our disposal, but it is communities, it is tribal governments, it is Pacific Island governments, it is individuals on the ground who are the experts in their lived experience who can help develop the priorities that we can serve. So we are public servants, and we're here to provide what support we can to help tribal governments or other partners reach their own goals and objectives. So we don't believe that we have the answers, but we've got a lot of tools that we can bring to bear. I hope that you can see the incredible sort of complexity of work that the division supports, but I hope that you know that down to a person, everyone in our division loves what they do. I love my job. I feel so lucky. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by leaders and staff who also feel powerfully about the importance of this work. I hope that you'll tell us exactly what we can do with this love and this energy to help you and your community meet the goals that you have. We're glad to hear any questions. We're also glad to take feedback. Insights are welcome, opportunities for improvement. One of the ways that we're trying to improve as a region this year is around linguistic justice. So we're trying to advance ourselves on a pathway to advance diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and belonging. And this year's focus is on advancing linguistic justice, making sure that we remember that the way that people communicate doesn't have any signal about the intelligence that they're providing, the depth of their understanding, the expertise that they're sharing with us. And linguistic justice is an important way for us to unlock some of that awareness. So excited to be on a journey, glad to take feedback. Tell us how we can serve you. End of rant. Applause, applause. Now, how can we help you? Len, dígame.
Well, thanks very much. I'm glad I attended this session. At Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, under our new leadership, we're going beyond being a regulatory agency, which we need to be, to community engagement. And I was really interested in the Pacific Island talk. I don't remember her name, but I'd like to get her name and talk with her about how they achieve what they can do geographically until we can apply some of those learnings in Arizona.
Absolutely. I would be delighted to connect you. And Ruben, if you could follow up with Len and make sure that he has Elena Vaouli's contact information.
Yeah.
She's the
Yeah.
team leader for our Pacific Islands team, which is a small but mighty group of individuals who perform that
Yeah.
really unique work. And I think you'll be excited to speak with her. Thank
Yeah.
you, Len.
Yep.
I celebrate your path at ADEQ. I really am excited about the ways that the department is expanding your vision to include some new dynamics. And I'm glad you're there to help support it.
Thank you very much.
More. Give us a job to do. She says we're fine.
Well, we've reached the time.
Oh, we've reached the time. Time is up. All right, excellent.
Lunch.
It's time for lunch. Oh, excellent. Okay, well then I am not going to stand in the way. Please go to lunch. We're so excited. Lunchtime today is the Connor Baestewa Junior Awards. Several emeritus recipients of Connor Baestewa Awards are in our midst, and we're excited to hear about and celebrate new members of that esteemed group. Lunchtime today is happening upstairs in the ballroom. Let's go there. Muy bien. Adios.